So, what I thought I'd do today is talk about my first ever game of classical chess. Uh, it was my first tournament I ever played was about a year ago, which was at the 2024 Sydney Chess Championships. I was obviously unrated because I hadn't played a classical game before. Um, and my opponent was Darryl Ross, who was a 1566 at the time. I played in a couple of rapid tournaments, and I played a lot online. So yeah, I was pretty keen to see how I'd go. Um, but this was my first game. I was pretty nervous, and I knew Daryl. Like I played against him once in a rapid tournament, and I felt like we were pretty similar levels. So um, yeah, let's see how this one went. Um, so he played e4. I played the Caro-Kann, which I still sort of play now. He played the advanced. I played c5. He took knight c6 and f4. Um, I mean, this I think is pretty normal for the Caro-Kann. I actually find this variation a bit tricky to play against because I think the move here now is e6, which is what I played. Um, if you try and get the bishop out, like being a bit greedy, then I think white can play c3, and then if you play e6, white plays b4, and you sort of don't win back either of these two pawns, which is a bit of a, not a great result out of the opening. So I played e6. Um, Black played a3, white played a3, which I don't think is a good move. Um, it just seems a bit slow. I think c3 might be better, or just developing a knight. I don't know. And I took the pawn, and white played b4. Um, and I think in this position, like taking the knight is actually not a bad move. Um, it looks a bit weird because you're taking like an undeveloped piece with a developed piece, but um, yeah, I guess one idea, which is sort of what happened in the game, is like a check and win the pawn. Um, but perhaps the stronger idea behind this is that white can't castle kingside once he takes the bishop. And since white's pushed all his pawns on the queen side, his king might be a bit weak, just stranded in the center. Um, but I definitely don't play this ideally. I mean, I drop the bishop back first, and then he pins me with bishop b5, and then I think I saw this idea. So yeah, I think if I was going to take the knight, I think I should just take it instead of like while I'm there. So now I take the knight. He takes back. I play this check, like fully expecting him to play this move, but he actually played king f1, which surprised me a bit. Um, and I think now I started to really like get in my head about whether this whole idea was good. Um, like taking the pawn, I don't know, on the edge of the board, just I don't know. I think I should have probably taken it, but I was a little bit worried that like my queen was going to get trapped. I don't know, or just harassed a lot, and I decided not to do that. I just played a developing move, and then he played queen e1. Um, yeah, and I thought if I didn't want to take the pawn, I have to drop the queen back. Um, I end up trading queens, which I think I wouldn't have done now. Um, but anyway, then I played knight f5. He developed his knight. Um, I played knight f to d4, which I think is not a really good move because of bishop d3. So yeah, I definitely think like a couple of nervous moves here, like the queen check, the trading queens, knight d4 looks like a good square, but it's sort of like a one move threat, and this bishop move actually sort of now covers all of the knight's getaway squares. Um, so I develop my bishop. He plays king f2, which I thought was an interesting move, probably quite a good one. I bring my rook to the c file. he plays c3 to kick my knight out. And see, now you see why this move was not the best. I kind of just have to move it, and if he takes it, that's going to be good, I think, for white. Just this is going to be a long-term weakness. Okay, knight b3, I castle. Yeah, and this whole idea of sort of preventing white from castling that I had at the beginning, um, now that the queens are traded off the board, the fact that I'm castled doesn't even really feel like an advantage. I mean, this king is probably more active in the endgame, so um, I wasn't liking my position here. Knight c5 is a good move. I play rook, rook c7 to defend these two pieces. Okay, bishop d2, a developing move. I play b6. He takes my bishop, and yeah, now I play f6, which is pretty risky. I'm not sure if it's a good move or not. I actually can't remember what the engine says about a lot of these moves, but it could be good to sort of dislodge some of these pawns. Yeah, not sure. White finally takes the knight. Even though, yeah, now sort of seems like not the best time to take it, because how this ended up, I was sort of traded off my pawn that would have been doubled, and now he's got an isolated pawn, which is going to be tough to hold on to. So I'm sure that was not sort of played ideally, but now I've got a clear target. I go after this pawn. I think he realizes now, or he always realized, that he wouldn't be able to hold on to it. So he pushes it. I take. We trade rooks, and he plays rook d1. And I'm up a pawn at this point, but this pawn, I think, is gonna fall. I mean, unless I missed a defensive resource. I mean, if I play knight, so his bishop covers these two squares, so I can't defend this pawn with my rook. If I play knight e7 to defend it, I think he can go after my knight at a minimum. Whoops, sorry. And I mean, I'm not sure if those are the best moves, but yeah, I decided to try and defend it like this. Like, I play rook e4 to attack his bishop. He defends his bishop, and then I push my pawn. And now, I could trade off this pawn for this sort of weak, isolated pawn for one of his pawns, instead of just losing it outright. But he played b5, which I think I probably missed, like, while I was looking at that whole sequence. Okay, I play knight a5. He takes the pawn. I play knight c4. He plays d5, and yeah, pretty interesting position. I mean, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do here. Perhaps bring my king. This pawn looks very strong, so I think I'm in a bit of trouble here. But I play rook e7, which I think was a blunder. Was a losing move. But he didn't find the winning idea. He played d6. I think what he needed to play was rook c1, and then my knight's under attack, and no matter where I move it, I mean, there's not that many squares. Let's say I take the pawn. I think then he can play d6, and if I try and sort of get behind the pawn, or like prevent it from queening, he's got this like rook c7 move, and I can't take the rook because then he takes with the pawn and he's going to queen. And if I move my rook, or if I move my rook back, then he takes this pawn at a minimum. But yeah, I think the combination of the rook coming to the 7th rank and the pawn, sorry, getting there as well is too strong. But yeah, he played d6 first, which now that doesn't work because now I play rook d7, and when he plays rook c1 attacking this knight, I can actually just take the pawn. And luckily, like if he doesn't have rook d1 now because I've got this check, so that was quite lucky. I think he missed a winning idea firstly, and I think this check at the end of this sequence was lucky because I didn't sort of plan that or see it. Um, he trades, which I don't know, probably I don't know, if that was the best move. Gives me a check, um, gives me another check, and takes this pawn. And now he offered a draw, and I accepted. I think I don't know. I think I felt like I was like sort of holding on. The computer says this is a draw, but this, especially at our level, there was probably a bit more to play for. But um, yeah, I was happy to take a draw in like my first ever game. I was a bit nervous with black. Um, yeah, so that one ended in a draw. Um, but yeah, I'm going to be posting a few more of these sort of videos, like how I go at classical tournaments. Um, hopefully, it's sort of gives a sense of what the chess is like at this level. I mean, I'm unrated, you know, in this tournament, but I play like sort of 15, 1600 level players in this tournament. So yeah, if you if you like this video or like this analysis, please consider giving it a like. And yeah, I'll see you next time.